Okay, let's get started. Now we are discuss about the Poetics by Aristotle's critical appreciations. Significance of poetic in study of literature. But further, the work has a permanent value quite apart from historical consideration, Aristotle's fundamental assumptions, and the generations upon which he mainly insists are as true of any modern literatures as they are of his own. That a work of art, for instance, a drama or the like, may be compared to a living organism, every part of whose structures is dependent upon the function of the whole, is a conception having validity from the ages, and the same may be affirmed of his contentions that poetry has its own standard of correctness or fitness and is to be judged uh, primarily on standard of primarily by its own law of the minor generalizations. One that no our day is often challenging concern the social stations of the tragic hero. It is maintained that Aristotle, having no provisions of the modern democratic movement, could hold on to opinion representing the average man or the man is in humble circumstances as compared with the man of distinguished birth and positions in an important tragic role. To this, it may be replied that Aristotle had formed and elsewhere expressed a very just estimate of the relation of individual worth to external goods and heredity, named that the age of Pericles in some high tragedy furnished was notable democratic that Euripides that had represented men of humble birth in tragedy, and Aristotle's own age. Three generations after Euripides and a age of despotisms took a somewhat unusual interest in burger life. Upon that state, it's easy to believe that many problems which are thought to be peculiar to the modern drama had been discussed and were settled in the theory of Aristotle's time, and that the desirability or undesirability of choosing a tragic hero for from the lower walk of life was among the mooted question. After all, how little of the ancient Greek drama do we really know except for fragments, perhaps one tenth of the plays of Aeschylus, Phocles, and Euripides from among all the writers of tragedy in their age, and of the tragedy intervening between Euripides and Aristotle, virtually nothing useless. It should be the reason if the authorship of that is still in dispute. The generation of the poetic were based upon a weird literatures which has mostly disappeared. The treatise is further valued for its method and perceptive simply and directly. It lays emphasis upon what is of first importance upon the vital structure of a poem rather than the meters upon the end and aim of tragedy in its effect upon the emotional rather than the history of the chorus. For the chorus by his daughter's time may have counted fearless than it subsequently does is the Roman close drama. The manner of presentations is not rhapsodical. Profound thought in the main clear are expressed in language suited to scientific inquiry. There may be little indeed suggests the ease and significant inquiry. There may be little indeed to suggest the ease and grace of style for which other work of Aristotle's were commanded in antiquity. Though the central thought of the poetic that the plot is the soul of tragedy is an imaginative conception or metaphor in this work. In this work, we need look for no ornate prose such as Shelley and Ruskin give way to in dealing with fine art. The tone of Aristotle may rather be compared to that of Leonardo da Vinci. In his treatise on painting and his procedures is a model of the way in which we ought to study a literary type. So far as we may gather his mode of investigations, the laws of poetry must have been somewhat as follows. Okay, do like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.